My main memory of Enterprise is watching it when it first came on. And even then I would have been like, what, 12 or 13? And you think I wouldn't have been complaining about this type of thing. But I remember it was in the first 2 episodes, there's that bit where they have to like decontaminate each other.
I hated that bit.
Yeah, and it's just like sexy Vulcan and Scott Bakula rubbing each other down with like this gel. Okay. And it's just so blatantly. And I think even at 13, I was just like, this is a bit on the nose.
Right. I remember thinking that's part of the reason that I sort of didn't take it seriously the first time. It was like, are you kidding me?
I agree with you 100%, right? You're right. It's deliberate and it's silly. It's also kind of erotic.
Yeah. I guess people would argue like, well, Yvonne Craig, Batgirl herself, what's she known for beyond playing Batgirl? Green sexy lady in the original Star Trek. It's like, there's all this. Maybe TNG has made it sort of like, I guess TNG did have sex because it was Riker freaking bonked his way through multiple galaxies.
On the whole, TNG is very, I think this is people's problem with it. It's very
it's much more
sterile.
Dry. Yeah. It's much more sophisticated in a weird way of being like, well, this is about diplomatic relationships and whatnot. It's all about discussing things and seeing how we can solve
wouldn't go
issues.
And like axe handle someone in the back of the head, like.
yeah. That's kind of like when like the freaking 3 seasons in the Borg show up. It's kind of like, well, there you go. It's a big deal now because it's the one thing you can't negotiate with. They just, they just have to keep firing at them and stuff. But yeah, the original series was just like shagging and just beating people up, and which is why I like Search for Spock so much, because the climax is like Kirk and badly made up Christopher Lloyd having a fist fight on a freaking planet that's very blatantly a set, and it's just like, this is Star Trek. That's what Star Trek. It looks like. It's like William Shatner and a stuntman. Fighting somebody in a crappy outfit and stuff. Well, I'll also say, for me watching a lot of Star Trek recently with those movies, I always think it is quite weird that, like, they never, much like this movie starts off with, like, there's the theme tune from the Batman animated series. It's up front and center. And the Star Trek movies, they never put in the Star Trek theme. It would have been weird if you were going in the 70s and you're like, I can't wait to hear some do, 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 and then sitting down and it's just like, bah, 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 bah.
Well, you know what it is?
What the hell?
I think they, whether rightly or wrongly, they sat down and went, right, that music, it's so 60s. Like, it's not going to fly now, especially as you get into like the 4th movie. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's going to date it even more than the old men.
They're sort of moving with the times.
Yeah. And they're trying to promote, TNG and stuff as it goes on. I get it. But
I think they already know they've captured the audience as well, really, haven't they? So most of the people going to see it are already in. They're already like, yes, please, what have you got next?
and they're all just waiting for Enterprise, like me, There's
probably one person out there who was like, I went to see that first movie in the 70s, and in the opening credits, they didn't have the theme tune, and I walked out, and I've not watched any of them since.
And you know what? I don't care what anyone says. That first movie's amazing. If you don't like it, you don't get Star Trek. People go, oh, it's boring. There isn't a proper villain. Good. Don't care. Vija, great.
Yeah. But no, so saying about The Reaper,